Salut à tous. On se retrouve pour continuer. Oh non! On se retrouve pour continuer Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Mais je vois qu'en relançant le jeu, ça m'a sorti du camp. J'espère que je peux y retourner quand même. Parce que sinon, ça me ruinerait mon enquête là. Et surtout, ça ruinerait le défi de John. Punaise, mais c'était où le chemin pour y descendre? Ce matin, on avait avancé sur l'enquête du photographe. Et on avait fini par aller dans un camp de réfugiés. Non, c'est bon, je peux y retourner, visiblement. Ouf. Monsieur?
Could you help me? Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others. Can I ask you a question? Oh, I don't know about that. Ask
Ah,
one
mais
of
faut
the
que j'en
others.
parle à une personne spéciale, je suis bête. Oui. Faut que j'en parle à lui, je pense.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clock can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John?
Yes.
Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
Et du coup... Voilà, c'est ça. Donc je vais en parler aux gens. Je vais enlever ma tenue de policier.
Could you help me?
They often take us from the camps to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way we get a glimpse of freedom.
Dans les coulisses du camp, selon les réfugiés, des individus suspects viennent régulièrement au camp et prennent avec eux plusieurs de ses occupants afin de les employer à diverses tâches. Le travail est souvent laborieux, mais les réfugiés reçoivent de l'argent et de la nourriture en échange. C'est au cours d'une de ces missions que l'incident a depuis incité les réfugiés à refuser l'emploi des femmes pour ces tâches.
And all the while the police look the other way. Ugh, typical. These events have fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all,
Sherlock.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Naylor?
Naylor. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Naylor's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Naylor. if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Naylor. My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Naylor, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Naylor doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him. Terrible events are behind that canvas, Sherry.
À son meilleur moment. Il y a encore ça.
Can I ask you a question?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
Help me, please.
Sorry. We don't see much here.
Time to check your who, what and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here?
Tiens.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged,
Non.
right?
Bah non. Je sais très bien que vos flics sont
The
corrompus.
guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
Ah, bah c'est réussi. Moi je pensais que j'allais devoir me déguiser en réfugié et que j'allais être récupéré. Tatouage d'intrus dans les archives. Les archives de police. Ah ouais, j'ai eu 3 défis ici déjà. Mince. En même temps, elle est très longue cette enquête. Regarde, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 indices. Ou 21 indices, je sais pas si on met un S ou 1. Faudra que j'aille voir dans les archives ça. Donc je pense qu'on est bon là. Ouais, toutes les preuves obtenues. Faut la sortir du camp. Quelqu'un qui dort là. Je sais pas si s'il crie contre la police ou contre les réfugiés du coup. Déjà, on va regarder dans le palais mental. Le voyou n'a pas fait de mal à la femme. Et là, et la femme photographiée. Ah non. Voilà. Voyou est venu au camp dans l'intention d'enlever une femme. Il aurait pu la tuer, mais ce n'était pas son but. Ah bah il voulait refaire peut-être il voulait refaire une de ces scènes comme ça alors. Je sais pas. Charbon sous les ongles du mort, empreinte de charbon. Ouais. Le même individu qui s'est introduit dans la galerie. Un homme de main et non juste un voleur. Ouais. Ces exécutions sont souvent octroyées aux fonctionnaires de haut rang. Des carnets d'affaires. Un croquis basé sur la photographie que j'ai trouvé. Il a donné au débauché l'apparence d'un homme en costume rouge avec de nombreuses queues sortant de son dos. Les cuissons de ce genre sont habituellement octroyées aux fonctionnaires de haut rang. Ah ouais, carrément. Donc on va se TP dans les archives ici. Parce que hôtel de ville, c'est les personnes de haut rang justement. Dans les archives de l'hôtel de ville sont ce genre de personnes qui sont recensées.
Have you found anything helpful?
Pas encore, mais bientôt je l'espère. C'est de ce côté? Ouais. Mais je m'en suis souvenu. Au dernier moment, mais je m'en suis souvenu. Un représentant officiel du coup. Britannique. Quoique. Britannique 19... Ah bah si, on est au 19e siècle. On n'est pas au 20e. Ah par contre là... Peut-être documents légaux? Ouais. Profil de Thomas Norton. Thomas Norton, né à Londres en 1840, donc il a 40 ans. Diplômé de l'université d'Oxford en 1864. Est entré en fonction en tant que secrétaire au bureau de l'intérieur en 1869. A accepté une position d'officier des armées en Inde en 1875. S'est vu délivrer la médaille de l'ordre du bain par la reine en personne en 1877. A été nommé au poste d'envoyé britannique en Cordona et a reçu son premier cabinet à l'hôtel de ville le 1er mars 1878. Ok. J'allais en parler à quelqu'un. Mais qui? Sachant que c'est à l'hôtel de ville, donc c'est juste ici. Hein. Après, à elle peut-être, non.
Can I ask you a question? Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Toi, non. Faut que j'en parle à quelqu'un en particulier. Attends, on va aller dans les archives de la police, là. C'est mini temps de chargement où t'as pas le temps de lire quoi que ce soit. Après, je pense que sur PS4 et Xbox One, quand le jeu sortira, ils seront un peu plus longs du coup les temps de chargement. Tu auras le temps de lire, mais là, t'as une demi-seconde, tu peux pas lire ce qui est écrit. Affirme que le tatouage Scaladio. Ah quoique, c'est peut-être une personnalité lui aussi. En fait. Ouais, je pense que c'est plus à ça. Donc au final, j'aurais dû rester à l'hôtel de ville. J'ai perdu un peu de temps. Mais vu que Sherlock, quand on avait mentionné ce sujet avec l'autre sergent, là, le grognon, il avait mentionné vos archives, j'ai pensé que c'était les archives de police, mais non, je pense qu'en fait c'est ici. Citoyen peut-être. Scaladio. Et... on va mettre ça? Non. 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 Ah, c'est peut-être pas ici au final. Hein. C'est peut-être entreprise, je ne sais pas. Ah, c'est ça. Détails sur la Bernadotti Company Ltd. Entreprise fondée en 1873 par Niccolo Bernadotti. Siège social au sud-est de Scalido, sur Bazaar Road, près de l'intersection avec Roman Road. Bernadotti Company Ltd achemine des marchandises entre les colonies britanniques d'Afrique et le reste du Royaume-Uni, coordonnées incluses. Les produits importés comprennent des vivres, du vin, du café, des artistes de tous les jours et plus encore. Des articles de tous les jours et plus encore. Excusez-moi. Fondateur est Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti, né en Sicile dans le Royaume d'Italie. Bernadotti a déménagé à Londres à l'âge de 39 ans pour exercer son activité. Plus tard, dans la même année, il a délocalisé son siège en Cordana afin de, selon ses propres dires, se rapprocher des colonies dans lesquelles il a investi. Depuis son arrivée sur le sol cordonnais en 1173, Bernadotti est devenu un mécène réputé des arts ainsi qu'un contributeur important au bien-être social de l'île. Parmi ses apports récents, on compte en outre l'achat de nouveaux matériels pour le poste de police et l'assistance portée au gouvernement dans le cadre du transport d'un aérostat baptisé Led Zeppelin. Oh, depuis l'Allemagne. Et pas Led Zeppelin. Enfin, on dit Led Zeppelin en français, mais ça se dit pas comme ça en vrai. Mais tu m'étonnes, l'achat de nouveaux matériels pour la police et l'assistance portée au gouvernement. Bah tu m'étonnes qu'ils se fassent pas arrêter. Il faut aller sur les lieux du coup. Sud-est de Scaladio, Bazaar Road et Roman Road. Bazaar Road, Roman Road, c'est où? Parce que là on a Bazaar Road, mais où est Roman Road? Là on a plein de Bazaar Road, mais normalement c'est pas dans la vieille ville. Hein. Je regarde quand même au cas où, mais... Bazaar Road, elle est très longue en plus. Hein. Attends. Près de l'intersection avec Roman Road. Ah, j'avais pas vu là. Donc ça devrait être là. En vrai, il n'y a pas vraiment de TP proche, hein. Je vais y aller à pied. Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas quelque chose au journal? Tiens, je me demande. Il y a un marchand de journaux ici? Ah non. C'est des fleurs. faut que je continue en fait. Pas du tout. Pas que je continue. Faut que j'aille par ici. Un Bernadotti compagnie. Mais j'ai vraiment l'impression que ça se fout de moi ça. Hein. Genre les affiches elles sont affichées que quand je connais les trucs. Bernadotti compagnie j'ai jamais rien vu. Et là maintenant que j'en entends parler je le vois. C'est où la Bernadotti compagnie, c'est ça? Ah ouais.
It seems they're not expecting guests.
I won't wait for an invitation, John.
Nous devons trouver un autre moyen d'entrer. Oh bah. Salut les gars.
These workers don't look like your average cook.
They're refugees from the camp.
Let's find something illegal.
Vas-y, redis-moi.
So many goods here. Let's find something illegal.
Et si je m'habille en bandit? Criminel chic.
Help me, please.
Nah, fella. I got no idea about this.
Could you help me?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
May I ask for your assistance?
I don't answer to you.
Bah ouais, mais je sais même pas pourquoi je fais ça en fait. Parce que j'ai pas de questions à poser. Hein.
That's our way in, Sherry.
Et si on allait par la force?
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
Franchement, détective privé et mission pour l'hôtel de ville, ça sent mal. Hein.
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotti. I tried the front door, but...
Mr. Bernadotti isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotti's best interest to...
1.
Un de vos gars est mort?
Listen, the man Bernadotti sent up...
2.
Ok, bah. Allez hop.
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
J'aurais peut-être dû partir. Je me demande si j'ai pas manqué un trophée, mais c'était quand même bien marrant. On va pas se mentir.
Take a rest.
1, 2, boum. Allez hop. Voilà. Non, mince, je me suis trompé de touche. J'ai appuyé sur rond.
No more crime for you until next month.
Toi t'es foutu. Carré. Oh là là, j'aime trop ces camps de bandits en vrai. On s'amuse bien.
Give him the pepper. The snuff's ready.
T'as calmé mon pote. Oh, tu me saoules. Et monte-moi ton bras là. Voilà. L'autre, il est là. Toi, t'as juste un chapeau mon pote? Bah tu dégages. Boum.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Ouais, je l'ai le pepper snuff, mais pour l'instant il me sert pas. Ah toi, c'est toi que je cherchais.
Time to knock this guy out.
Voilà.
The snuff's ready.
Don't cry, you'll live. Monsieur? Vous n'entrez pas? C'est génial.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Tiens. Voilà.
No more
Ça
crime
dégage.
for you until next month.
Punaise, je les gère de mieux en mieux en plus les camps de bandits, hein. Ça fait plaisir. Voilà. Et un petit coup de vie là. Bon, j'en ai perdu de la vie, hein. Mais... franchement, je l'ai bien géré celui-là. Je suis content. Je suis content de moi. Il faut le dire, hein, quand on est content de soi, quand on a bien géré, il faut le dire. Hein. Comme quand on fait n'importe quoi. Punaise, j'ai cru que c'était un bandit. De loin, j'ai cru que c'était un bandit torse nu.
Disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
Pourquoi? Parce que je l'ai tapé? Même face au pire brut, nous trouvons toujours un moyen de gagner sans ôter la vie. Nous formons l'équipe idéale. Je sais pas s'il est dans son personnage et raconte n'importe quoi ou si je le déçois vraiment en fait. Don't cry, you'll live. Trop quand il dit ça. Me dis pas que je suis sorti là. Si je suis totalement sorti.
Sherry, look.
Ah.
This seems familiar.
Oh là là, j'ai pas envie de la voir moi cette peinture.
Let's see what's hidden there.
Oh, c'est horrible.
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
Don't bother moving. Des statues
A
africaines.
Dogon statue from West Africa.
Non. Punaise, j'ai du mal, hein. J'ai les deux
A
sticks.
century old at least.
Les deux sticks à utiliser en même temps, c'est compliqué pour mon petit cerveau.
Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa.
Du coup, Afrique du Sud. Ah non, c'était peut-être Afrique de l'Ouest, non?
A Dogon statue from West
Ouais,
Africa.
Ouest, central et du coup Est. Ah non.
VH Grindley Flow Blue Tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited.
Ah, Limited, voilà. LTD, c'est Limited. Oh! Je t'avais pas vu, toi.
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here.
Mais oh là là. Heureusement qu'il t'entend pas, hein.
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
Tu te rends compte, à nous tout seuls, on a trouvé ce que faisait ça. Ah.
One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Je vous briserai ou personne ne vous retrouvera.
Keep standing in my way and no one will ever see you again.
Right up. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
Oh là là, toi tu menaces des gens, toi. Arrête un peu. Arrête un peu. Cordona Chronicles, la une liée à l'aérostat. On peut le récupérer? Non. Ou aérostat, je ne sais pas. Logistique, non. Resources, non. Mais ici, oui. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? T'essayes de...
This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
Non. Tiens. Quelque chose à observer ici. Attends, de là-bas... Ah bah, je pense que oui, puisque je peux le voir. Mais de là-bas, ça faisait vibrer ma manette.
I have a family. Spare me.
J'ai rien prévu, hein, t'inquiète pas. Beaucoup de paperasse, feuilles de route, documents légaux. Papier coûteux, emblème de l'hôtel de ville, invitation au bal.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk.
Photographie d'une petite fille membre de la famille. Attends, je fouille un peu, ça te dérange pas. Tu m'autorises, hein?
Sherry, don't you think this office suits me?
Même avec ta tenue de vendeur de glace, de glacier, ouais, totalement. Jolie collection. Okay.
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Ah, la fameuse moustache de mafieux, mon pote. Tatouage de gang, différent des autres, c'est vrai. Il n'y a pas le point, il y a 3 traits. Main endurcie, n'a pas peur du sale boulot. A eu la pelagre, peau endommagée, sûrement une maladie. Pistolet rangé dans son étui, garde son sang-froid. Alliance mariée. Nicolas Bernadotti est un impitoyable chef de gang qui est prêt à se salir les mains sans hésiter dans le but de démontrer l'étendue de son pouvoir. Ayant travaillé dur tout au long de sa jeunesse, Bernadotti a développé une haine profonde du monde qui l'entoure. Il attend le danger à chaque tournant et le crée volontiers lui-même. Né dans la pauvreté, il a dû travailler dans les champs dès le plus jeune âge. Il a, pour cette raison, contracté la pelagre, maladie dont on observe encore les effets sur sa peau. Il refuse toutefois de dissimuler ses séquelles sous ses habits raffinés. Préférant s'en servir pour ne jamais oublier ses propres origines et celles de ses ambitions. Bernadotti et ses hommes sont marqués de tatouages différents qui se rejoignent néanmoins dans leur style. Ces tatouages remplissent sans doute le rôle d'un code représentant les divers rangs qui constituent la hiérarchie d'une organisation criminelle régie par le secret et la discipline. Parrain du crime sans scrupules et cerveau calculateur. Donc il anticipe, ouais. Bernadotti est issu de la classe ouvrière, né dans la pauvreté, il a dû travailler dans les champs dès le plus jeune âge. Les longues heures passées à s'épuiser sous le soleil et la malnutrition ont fait de lui une proie idéale pour la pélagre. Parvenu à vaincre l'affliction, mais les effets de cette dernière sont encore visibles sur sa peau. En dépit de son aisance pécuniaire actuelle, il se garde de mener un train de vie de puissant et projette une image et une allure sobre. Je sentirais bien ça, moi. Parrain sans scrupule. Hein.
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotti, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotte.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I am rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Moi, je veux zéro, moi. Moi, je veux que justice soit faite.
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
Le problème, c'est ça. C'est que même à l'époque de l'esclavage, c'était ça en fait. Soit ils meurent de faim, sans rien, soit ils étaient esclaves. Et là, c'est pareil. Au final, c'est pas normal que les réfugiés soient esclaves. Mais comme ils l'ont dit eux-mêmes, d'ailleurs, les réfugiés, c'est leur seul moyen de sortir de leur camp, d'avoir un peu d'argent et de nourriture. Donc malheureusement, ils sont dans une situation où ils sont obligés d'accepter. Et ils se servent de ça, le Bernadotte, pour se donner bonne conscience.
Why did you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid. It's a pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home, outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
Ok, tableau volé, je l'ai trouvé. Artefact, l'offre. J'hésite, hein. Parce que le problème, c'est que la femme qui a subi ces agressions, elle va se retrouver seule avec son fils, alors que ça fait, enfin seule avec son enfant, son nouveau-né, alors que ça fait, je sais pas combien de temps qu'elle vit avec les réfugiés. Là, elle va se retrouver seule, elle va entre guillemets abandonner les réfugiés. C'est pas sa réaction. Ça se trouve, ce n'est pas ce qu'elle veut. Le tableau volé, l'offre. Et moi, je t'avoue que un homme qui a fait subir ça à une femme, pour moi, j'ai envie de le retrouver derrière les barreaux. J'ai envie, voilà, j'ai pas envie qu'il soit libre, même s'il subit du chantage. J'ai envie que justice soit faite réellement. Alors Thomas Norton.
I am positive our deal will benefit everyone.
The front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course. Bernadotte Limited will always look forward to your visits.
On a peur maintenant? Oh là là. C'est beau. Carte. Preuve clé obtenue, mais je n'ai pas toutes les preuves. Hein. Alors peut-être que la dernière preuve, c'est en donnant la photo, je ne sais pas.
This marble fella, it's like he was made after my image. You see it?
Alors est-ce que je peux le récupérer ça? Non. Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas d'autres trucs dans son bureau à lui? Ah. Ah, visiblement si.
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor.
En 1875.
1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Toujours pas toutes les preuves obtenues.
I am positive our deal will benefit everyone.
Palais mental, j'ai débloqué quelque chose? Ah non. Bernadotte veut faire chanter l'envoyé. Bernadotte sait retourner chaque situation à son avantage. Ayant eu vent Il voit une chance d'étendre son influence. Il m'a proposé un marché. Il a photographié en échange d'une vie heureuse pour Neyla. Impitoyable justice. L'envoyé est méprisable et Bernadotti cherche à tirer profit d'une horrible situation. Aucun n'est digne de confiance. La vérité, si elle est révélée, résoudra l'affaire. Donnez la photographie à Vogel afin qu'il dévoile tout au public. Collaboration inattendue. Bernadotti est un homme d'affaires véreux. Mais il semble sincère dans sa promesse de donner à Neyla et son enfant une vie heureuse. Tout ce qui compte à présent, donner à Bernadotti les preuves nécessaires pour faire chanter l'envoyé. Alors, carnet d'affaires, j'ai quand même Thomas Vogel, moi. Thomas Norton, je veux dire. Vogel, c'est le... celui qui prend les photos.
I need some time to consider your offer, Mr. Bernadotti.
Punaise, mais... Et genre, du coup, en vrai, j'ai la photographie sur moi, donc.
You acted so much like me. You've disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
À son propre cabinet à l'hôtel de ville. En fait, faut peut-être que je cherche le cabinet. Genre, ça m'amène où, là? Ok, ça m'amène ici. Même si j'ai pas l'impression d'avoir trouvé tous les indices, hein, c'est pas écrit. J'ai trouvé tous les indices. Après, là non plus. Mais je me demande si c'est pas, en fait... genre, si je lui donne la photo à lui, il y aura tous les indices. Si je lui donne la photo à lui, il y aura tous les indices. Je me demande si c'est pas ça. En tout cas, je vais essayer de trouver le cabinet de Vogel. C'est pas Vogel, c'est Norton. I will find him. And I will bring him to justice. Ah, Thomas Norton. Oh là là. Alors toi, t'es pas prêt, mon pote.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Pilosité faciale, n'a pas le temps de se raser. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a dans ses yeux? De la fatigue? N'a pas dormi de la veille. Bah tu m'étonnes, il a dû apprendre que la photographie a disparu. Bien usée, jamais enlevée. Médaille de l'ordre du bain. Du sang? Tache rouge du vin. Ah non, du vin. Il a dû boire en apprenant que la photo a disparu. Tenue froissée, reste longtemps au travail. La tache de vin rouge qu'on observe sur son poignet et son visage irruste indique la paresse dont cet homme fait preuve dans son devoir. Médaille de l'ordre du bain semble très usée, il en est manifestement fier et ne la retire jamais, même pour agresser visiblement. Ses habits plissés et ses yeux injectés de sang pourraient signifier qu'il n'est pas rentré chez lui la nuit dernière. Au lieu de se consacrer à son travail, cet homme préfère se noyer dans un océan d'alcool et de dépravation. L'envoyé aime faire la fête, l'envoyé éprouve des remords. Tout porte à croire qu'il vient un véritable cauchemar et cherche à se purger. Ah non, moi je... Ah quoique... Il n'a pas eu le temps de se raser, bien usé, jamais enlevé. Je sais pas. Envoyer me faire la fête, pas du tout. Mais des remords, je trouve pas non plus. Peut-être juste qu'il a appris que la photo a disparu. Et... Enfin, quoique... La photo a disparu, tu te dis, ah, j'aurais pas dû faire ça, maintenant ma carrière est ruinée, mais c'est pas vraiment des remords pour la femme.
Didn't you hear what I just said?
You blame yourself for what you did. Won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about? Are you from the press?
I'm here because of Naylor.
Who?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me where you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
I came to talk.
Je veux pas lui montrer la photographie, j'ai peur qu'il la déchire.
Evidence that proves you guilty of the violation of a young girl.
What kind of evidence? The silly painting? That's ridiculous. Rumors. Don't listen to a word of it.
I wouldn't call it solid if it were just a painting. I have a photograph that would be enough to cause a scandal at the very least, not to mention criminal consequences.
A photograph? Oh, so you've plucked up courage to finally come here. I won't pay you a single coin until I see the photograph for myself.
I'm not interested in money. I came here to hear your version of what took place. I'm not in the habit of making rash decisions.
Not in the habit? Well, it didn't seem like that from the letter you wrote.
I've never written a single word to you. That's not my style. I'm more direct. But in exchange for my patience, I demand your full cooperation. I need you to tell me everything.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
Qui vous a fait chanter?
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position, yet here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes, and I'm no exception.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Mais non, on sait que c'est pas lui, du coup.
But listen, I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level.
Ah non.
I had thoughts
Ah
of
non.
this Mercutio.
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait, to see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt.
What? Mais il y a combien de fins en fait? Soit il peut aider Nella, soit les réfugiés, soit je peux donner la photographie au photographe, soit à Bernadotti. Déjà, j'ai pas envie qu'il aide Neyla, j'ai envie qu'il aide tout le monde. Ça, c'est sûr. Mais il a dit, j'ai commis des choses atroces, mais un meurtre, c'est au-dessus de tout. Mais pour moi, meurtre, je suis désolé, mais un meurtre, je préfère ça que ce qu'a subi Neyla. Hein.
Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's
Quoi?
not all.
Ah bah je peux
Layla
faire les deux.
deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people? Come on, it's not like we've got anything better to do.
Ah ouais. Témoignage de l'envoyé. Du coup, il faut que je parle à quelqu'un de ça. Mais je me demande si c'est pas juste Bernadotti en fait. Je dois pas parler à Bernadotti avec ça. Tous les réfugiés sont victimes du système. La situation dans laquelle ils se trouvent peut et doit être corrigée. Mais en fait, moi, je vais donner la photo, en fait. Déjà, il y a un truc qui... Il y a là un truc que je peux faire. Est-ce que je dois pas aller discuter avec... Bah non, je peux pas aller discuter avec Neyla.
Have you found anything helpful?
Il me semble que c'est fermé maintenant. Attends. Ah, je peux mettre les deux. L'envoyé veut cacher la preuve. L'intérêt que l'envoyé porte à la photographie est pragmatique. S'il l'obtient, sa réputation ne sera plus menacée. L'envoyé veut préserver sa réputation, la violenter Neyla, la photographie et capturer son acte nuiront à sa carrière ou pourrait me permettre de lui forcer la main pour aider les réfugiés. L'envoyé ne mérite ni confiance ni absolution pour ses méfaits. Le châtiment infligé par le peuple scandalisé de Cordona est le moins qu'il mérite. Donner la photographie à Vogel afin qu'il rende toute l'affaire publique. Thomas Norton est un débauché qui a commis un acte horrible. Bien qu'il mérite d'être jugé, je ne peux le faire au prix de la liberté d'être humain. Donner la photographie et l'envoyer en échange de la régularisation des réfugiés. Ah, j'hésite. Parce que Thomas Norton, pour moi, il mérite totalement d'aller en prison. Il mérite totalement. Mais qu'il n'aille pas en prison en échange que des dizaines et des dizaines de personnes aient une meilleure vie, je sais pas. Pour moi, ça me paraîtrait... C'est quoi, on va faire ça. Un petit mal pour un grand bien. Thomas Norton est un débauché qui a commis un acte terrible. Ouais, c'est ce que je viens de dire. On va lui donner la photo. J'aurais aimé qu'il soit jugé, mais s'il y a moyen que les réfugiés aient une vie meilleure, or pourquoi pas. Alors attendez 2 secondes. Allez.
Have you thought it all through?
Je lui donne.
The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh. I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Naylor.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Vox Populi. Prendre toujours parti pour les réfugiés.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation?
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important, after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh, dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained, specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
J'aurais pas dû lui dire ça.
Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine.
Qu'est-ce qui me touche, lui?
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
Affaire terminée. 80. Ah, pas mal. Pas mal, il m'a payé 80. Ah bah j'ai assez pour m'acheter... J'ai assez pour m'acheter une armure. On va retourner au manoir du coup. Tiens, on a un TP... Ah bah oui, oui, je suis bête, on a un TP devant le manoir. Ça fait longtemps.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume?
Oui.
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Estevaux. Happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
You have my attention, Mr. Estevaux.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
What about the status quo?
The Ottoman population holds a certain animosity towards the colonial rule. It's been this way since we took over the island. General Ridley made concessions with their leaders, but I'm afraid we are still teetering on the edge of open hostility.
What does Mycroft want me to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There's a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
Encore Mycroft. A et B. Oui.
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
Me dis pas que c'est une statue de ma mère. What?
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Un cadavre de sirène? Ça va m'ouvrir une nouvelle salle chez moi.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft.
Mycroft.
What are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare...
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything! I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Oh là là. L'histoire prend un cours, mais de fou, là. Oh! On a récupéré.
I imagine Goliath was surprised to find out his lady was not real.
Oh là là, l'histoire, elle prend un tout nouveau tournant. Tout s'enchaîne, ça c'est vraiment cool.
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
Non. Ah, j'ai pas vu le tableau. Bois, droit, lisse.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall.
Ah ouais? Femme, queue de poisson, mystère.
It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible, it must have been something else.
Bah ça devait être la statue qu'on a eue. Hein. Sexe, squelette, rocher.
Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
Mycroft. Membre de la famille. Ah non.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
Imagine, tu rentres chez toi et tu tombes sur ça, quoi. Outils, loupe, observation.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us.
Personne, éclat de voix,
The
ouvrier.
workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
De plus en plus curieux. Ouvrir le cabinet de curiosité. Punaise, comment ils l'ont fait rentrer par cette petite porte, je ne sais pas.
Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
Genre ça, ils les ont pas...
What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
C'est pas faux. Mais genre... quand ils sont venus récupérer les meubles pour les vendre, ils ont pas vendu tout ça, alors que ça pouvait valoir un paquet. Hein. Je trouve ça étrange. Tiens, souvenir du manoir. Journal de John, souvenir, c'est ce qu'on vient de voir. Belle prise, effectivement. En tout cas, moi je vais m'arrêter là pour ce matin, pour ce live imprévu. Je vous remercie de m'avoir suivi. On se retrouve du coup ce soir pour continuer cette affaire, pour continuer nos souvenirs, peut-être commencer l'affaire de Mycroft, pour découvrir un peu cette salle, la salle des curiosités, etc. Donc en tout cas, je vous remercie de m'avoir suivi. Je vous souhaite une bonne journée et à la prochaine.